and welcome to this new video. In the previous video, we saw how to improve this workflow by using an output parser and the edit field node to convert text into an object. In this video, we'll take a closer look at how the edit field node works, what attributes it accepts, and what types of responses it can provide. First, to avoid having to run our entire current workflow from scratch every time, since the LLM takes a little while to respond, we'll create a parallel branch. This parallel branch will directly call an edit field node. To add an edit field node, go to Data Transformation, where you'll find Edit Field. Add it and connect it to your trigger node. So, our edit field, as the name suggests, actually allows us to modify an object's fields. To do this, it lets us create a new object from a previous one. Here, since we don't have a previous object, neither as a direct input nor as a relative one, we'll create an object from scratch. We can therefore create an object that will represent a person's data. First, I'll enter the name, which will be of type string. Here we can see that we can choose between different types: string, number, boolean, datetime, array, and object. For the value, we'll enter John. Next, we can also enter the age, which will be of type number. I'll say that John is 27 years old. Next, we'll define whether he has children or not. This will be of type boolean, and we'll set the value to true. Then we can define, for example, his date of birth. We'll set the type to datetime and pick a random date. Let's say April 2nd, 2026 at 12:17 a.m. When you run this node, you automatically get an object with all the attributes and values you defined. You can also see that this JSON inspector displays an icon next to a value based on its type. For a boolean, you'll see this icon, and for a date, you'll see the clock icon. Okay, that was how to create an object from scratch. Now, let's say I add a second edit field here, which will take the object created by the previous one as input. Here you can see in the input section our values, and I might want to add new attributes. Create a new object based on the previous one. We'll drag and drop the name here, drag and drop the age. Then let's say I don't really need the birth date and I'll just stick with the name and age. If I run the node, you'll see that I have a new object that only has name and age. Next, I can create another edit field that will be connected to the previous one, but we'll modify the name slightly. Here, we'll use name and I'll add do. This is an expression that will have John, followed by do. If I run it, then we go to output and we get John Doe as the name. For the age, I'll simply say take his age, then add 10. If I run the node, I come here, and we see that the number 10 has been added to his age. So, expressions actually allow us to perform certain mathematical calculations. We'll dedicate a video to this, but basically, you should understand that there's a lot more that can happen inside those brackets. Now, let's say we'd like to make better use of the object type. We'll call this attribute child. We'll edit the name of his child and set it to Mark. If I run this expression, we automatically get our name, and we have child with name inside it. I can give the object several other attributes, such as age with a value of 5. This is more or less what the edit field node can be used for. As I said, it's a very powerful object that lets us select certain attributes from a previous object, create an object from scratch, or, for example, modify or convert a text into an object or a boolean. So that's all for this video. Thank you, and don't hesitate to subscribe so you don't miss future tutorials.